you know, you don't need answers right now. You don't need to know what to do. You don't need to fix it. It feels like it. But right now you are experiencing a reaction to a bunch of stuff. And you can't change that stuff, right? The stuff that's happened, like you said, that's happened. That's in the past. That's real, right? It's been. So you don't need to you don't need to change that. Not only can you not change that, but you don't need to change that. You don't need to try and change that. What you can do, which you're already doing based on what you said about time, is recognize that it's temporary. The feeling you're in is temporary. We don't know how temporary. We don't know how quickly this is going to start to move or shift or change. But I know you know that it is. At some point, the pain will mold into something slightly different, a different version of pain, and then a different version of pain, and then something that resembles something that's not pain in time. So whilst what has happened, whilst that cannot be changed, your experience of it is momentary. That's true now, and that's true always. Your experience of something that's happened is happening now, right? You're experiencing it now. You don't experience something ahead of time. You don't experience something anywhere other than in this moment. So what we know for sure is that right now you are experiencing the redundancy and the house and your dad in a certain way. And it feels awful. And nothing's going to take that away. You know, you experience that the way that you're experiencing that. Until you experience it differently. We don't know when, but at some point, and it might not be that suddenly you have this shift and everything changes and you see it all differently and you know you're happy about it. Like that's not going to happen. But there might be moments where you feel slightly less terrible and moments where you feel slightly more terrible. I don't know if you can relate to that. If in the last 2.5 months there have been times where you've had slightly more or less difficulty around what's happened. Take any one, take the redundancy. Has that happened at all in that period of time where it's kind of gone up and down a bit? The redundancy itself didn't change, right? Like that was a fact. That's something that happened. Yet your experience of it has moved and shifted in that time since. And that might be in glimpses, that might be in moments, that might be, you know, you're distracted for 20 minutes because a friend comes around and then you feel it again. Like it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, your experience of that changes. And so for me, there's comfort in knowing that. There's comfort in knowing that this isn't forever. This feeling I'm in now isn't forever. And I might see something differently about it at some point. So whilst right now it looks like no new job that I can get would ever take away my insecurity about this, that's possibly that might change, right? That's not fixed. The way that you feel about these 3 or 4 things that you've mentioned right now is going to be different to the way that you feel about them in 6 months and in 10 years. Very different. And maybe even tomorrow will feel a little bit different. And I'm not trying to convince you that it's going to do this, right? It's not necessarily just going to keep getting better and better. I'm saying that it's going to fluctuate. There will be highs and lows. So I know you know that, because you said that time is the thing that will heal, or you didn't use that word, but will help. Take comfort in that, and know that there's nothing you have to do right now. Just knowing that is enough. You don't have to fix it. And in the moments of clarity, the natural moments where you feel a little bit better, the natural moments where you kind of have an energetic exhale, right? And you're like, there are these glimpses, these moments of relief. Things might occur to you then that will help. I don't know what that's going to be. It might be applying for a job. It might not be. It might be reaching out to a friend. It might be something else. I have no idea, because it's coming from you. It will be your wisdom, your intuition, your inner knowing inside of you that will show up. You have an inner compass. We all have an inner compass, a little guiding system internally that show us what's next for us. We don't see that as easily when we're caught up in the mental mess. And that's what's going on for you right now, Lola, is you're caught up in it. You're caught up in it, and that's okay. There have been times where you have had circumstances that have felt difficult going on in your life, and you've spoken about those circumstances to me with such wisdom and clarity and perspective. I've seen that. It's not fixed. Where you are today is not a kind of indication of where you're going to be tomorrow. It's just where you are today. It's just where you are now. We don't even know how you're going to be feeling this afternoon. Take comfort in what you know, and know that you don't have to do anything other than what you're doing right now. You don't have to feel anything other than what you're feeling right now. How you are right now is enough. You are enough right now. And you don't have to think about all of the things that it's difficult to think about. You don't have to figure those things out. You don't have to work out the solution from this space. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to clarity through analysis when you're in that can't see the wood for the trees state of mind. So let yourself off the hook. You don't need to work it out today. You don't need to fix it today. What are you hearing here, Lola?